We're not going to see any airborne? Oh no, we're gonna see airborne, yeah.
Yeah.
Not 82nd, but we're gonna see Air Assault 35th coming in here for Infamous. So, Phoenix on his 8th Infantry, a division that he absolutely adores. So, that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
plays 8th infantry a lot, very well practiced with it. But I think the F-16s are going to have a tough matchup against those MiG-29s, the 35th.
Yeah. So we first have to finish the prediction for last game, and now it's 8. 8 doesn't have any forward deployment. It's a bit annoying. Um, yeah, this will be a tough fight for Phoenix, I feel like. Like, this matchup, I mean, he has the artillery. If he can survive early on, he is Gucci. But Infamous will come hard for him. With good air tap, with good helos, with great infantry that can forward deploy. Also, obviously depends on which side you get here. If you want to survive that. If you're on the wrong side, surviving the 35th push will be harder. We saw 35th going really close to victory yesterday. Oh no, 2 days ago. Under control of Lafens on this map. But just not quite able to finish it off. So, let's see if it happens this time around. Yes. Lafens had the other side though. Infamous coming in here from the left. Bands this time around were 3rd US, and we never got to know. I can tell you in a second, I guess. Yeah, 82nd was actually banned. Yeah, 82nd was actually banned, so that makes sense. Yeah, picking 35th then, so that you have the only airborne division that the other guy can't equalize the forward deployment. So 3rd US and 82nd were the bans, and we are in for game number 3. Who will go for the match ball? Who will get themselves the match ball and put the other side under a huge pressure here on map number 3. BG9's coming up. This might be the most important game of the series.
I
Whoever
think so.
wins
I
here.
think a lot is going to hinge on this. And I think it will be interesting to see how aggressive Infamous goes in the start. Knowing he's got that forward deploy advantage, is he really going to try and get a foothold into Bravo early on? Or is he just going to set up on the outside?
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. Me-24Vs coming around the north on the other side. CV, 2 CVs coming up from the get-go. Phoenix doesn't want to get ticked down too much, but it looks like Infamous is trying to go for Bravo. Like, there's at least going to be some siege from the get-go, trying to go for it, or around. I'm not sure how deep he wants to rush in at the start. That can be a bit risky. What I don't like, I usually like ACAFs, but on this map, ACAFs are a bit of a hindrance because they are so slow that if the
You need to
enemy...
get to that front line fast.
Hmm?
You need to get to that front line
Yeah,
fast.
exactly. You
As you're
need to get to
saying.
the front line fast, and yeah, the ACAFs don't get there. So that actually... Infamous doesn't know that, so the ACAF still might be fine, but if Infamous goes for a push, it might actually work out because there might just not be any units to stop it. Cobra will try to get up there, but there are Eaglas already coming in the forward deployment as well. So this is a bit scary looking here for Phoenix.
And not only that, a lot of his troops, engineers in the back, are in M113A3s, which are also a slow transport. You have some Hamad Shooten coming in the trucks, but a lot of the forces are going to be slow to get to the front line. And that's just going to make the advantage of Infamous's forward deployment even bigger.
Yeah. Also, let's see how much AA Phoenix gets around. The Mi-24V AA also, if the Eaglas don't do the job, it should do the job dealing with the Cobra. It's also going to come in for the northern zone. So Bravo is going to be under a hell of a lot of pressure here.
The attack move on the Cobra is quite aggressive, going towards Infamous's side of Bravo.
Yeah,
Like,
and that might be a big mistake. Like,
I think
that
so,
Cobra
yeah.
is a relatively big investment, 110 points. So,
And it's so pivotal to the defense on that top side.
yeah. Engineers, a lot of engineers and Heimatschützen coming in behind it. MR13 A3 coming with it as well. So decent amount of TNT. Maybe bringing in the smoke mortar once more to try to use that for the defense could be an idea. But the siege will be real.
And
So far,
Infamous has got a mortar coming in on his side at the top.
yeah, so far not super much deployed by Infamous. Like, quite a couple of units, but they are mostly pretty cheap, so there should be still quite a bit to come on Infamous' side of things. And this should be a pretty hot matchup. Like, Phoenix will have to clinch for dear life for the first couple of minutes. But as I said, if he can stabilize, if Phoenix can get out the artillery park and start dealing damage that way, Infamous will be in trouble.
Definitely. If he sets his lines up well and gets the stalemate and isn't at too much of a point deficit, then I think the artillery is really going to start to chip away at Infamous's forces.
Yeah.
But either way, Infamous is going to have a good foothold on the outside of Bravo, and that sometimes is all you need for the late game in this match, just to push in a little bit, grab a few points with the CV, and that can tip the game in your favor.
Yeah, this Nolan setup, ZSU and co is... The ZSU is a pretty nice support if you use it correctly against for infantry fights as well, as it has 1000 meter range against infantry. And it's only costing you 40 points.
40 points.
So if you can get it nicely in there, it does pretty well. I'm not the biggest fan of it in bigger numbers anymore though, as you just have a better option with the Afghansky later on. At the one big advantage is that it has 4 deployments, so at the start it can be quite nice and it's a fast truck, but it obviously doesn't have any armor and it only has 2 23mm instead of 4. And the 4 gun version is just so much more efficient. So yeah, engineered dragons on the other side. Flash, pivots, moving around. On the other Heimatschützen engineers. A pretty standard setup here from Phoenix. But I don't know if a standard setup is exactly what you want to shoot here for. And as I said, I'm still a bit skeptical about the ACAFs. But Infamous seems to be a bit cautious here. Maybe not quite aggressive enough.
He has got a lot invested in the top side. I mean, it could be a bit of a crazy play that Phoenix could do. If Phoenix realizes that there's a lot invested on the top side, he could try and get aggressive towards Alpha. There's really not much going there.
Yeah, Phoenix has a good amount of units going towards Alpha with engineered dragons, a good couple of pivots, an Ito, and a good amount of scouts. Like, there could be pressure onto the southern zone for sure if he sets it up correctly. So yeah, it could be fine. V24 VAA coming around from the rear. Is this really... my predictions are... I feel it's really hard to make predictions about the outcome of this game. It will be down to so many decisions to be made, but I'm slightly in favor of Infamous if he keeps the aggression up in the first 5 minutes. It just has to be...
So much depends on this opening, I think.
Yeah.
Which makes it so hard to predict.
SPG-9 coming around. And
Phoenix now going for a more defensive move with the Cobra. He has changed that.
yeah, I guess he looked like his first idea was to do a big fight in the north, but now he seems to pivot more units towards the south. So he is like, yeah, I don't need the Cobra aggressive. I needed more defensive up in the north. So
yeah,
that's a good decision.
Definitely better play. Stick it behind the buildings. 2,000 meter. What's the range? 2,100 meter range on those rockets. you're in range of both of the roads leading into the zone.
Yeah.
So you can just tuck down behind the buildings when you need to stay safe, pop back up, shoot the rockets off, and stay safe out of enemy fire. And that's the best way to use those helis.
And we should be close to being finishing up. It's a classic Phoenix setup. Takes a bit longer. We're all used to that. If you have ever played Phoenix, you should know that he is a player who has a lot of thought processes going on when it comes to deployment. As we are into the game right now, though, and yeah, this is going to be hot. Let's see how much pressure Infamous can actually put onto the northern zone. As the Mi-24V is moving forward, the ACAFs slowly rolling in from the other side, but they are rolling in, and the other units are not going super deep. So this might actually be working out defensively here.
Off the start. Phoenix needs to be careful with that Cobra.
MiG-29 now flying towards it, gets a missile out, but no gun rounds. So the Cobra now can dodge away. Chaparral coming around as well, so the Mi-24V has to be careful. And the MiG-29 quite a bit as well. The Chaparral will try to get one missile on target. Will get in it. So MiG-29 will be out for quite a while now. But at least that means...
Lucky play for Phoenix there.
Less ammo on the Chaparral for the Mi-24. So it needs to get 2 out of 3 hits to kill that. Or to reload. Mi-24V needs to be careful. Chaparral with its 3000 meter range can for sure come around quite easily and get shots off. Cobra moving around in the south, but Igla is there. Igla is firing. There's Medis under fires, but so are the scouts, as Infamous is trying to move forward slowly. Igla now with the hit. Second Igla is behind it. Not quite on target though, but Chaparral is firing on the Mi-24V. Doesn't get the kill though, and the Iglas do.
Cooper goes down.
So Mi-24V will be able to get out most likely. Ah no, the 50 cults of the ACAF opening up, and they get the kill. Clutch kill there for the ACAF. It's down in the north, and there's little
Thunderbolt coming in.
Little long-range anti-tank for Infamous here. Thunderbolt get the Igla. Iglas get 1 hit in, but that's only 2 damage, and Phoenix is looking hot here in the north. Is up on the +3 as well, as Infamous is not...
MiG-29's coming in, but it's going to go straight up against the A-10.
That's great, which is okay point-wise, but it's really not what you want there. ACAF's getting into a nice position as well. Phoenix up on a +3 and nearly has pushed Infamous out of the zone already. Killed off quite a couple of important units as well. The helicopter, the MiG-29, couple of Iglas, so more A-10 action can happen later on and so on. And yeah, there is still infantry here, but no long-range weaponry whatsoever right now. So the ACAFs actually are super scary as they start to deal with units in the north. A T-64B now rolling in. That thing will finally help out with the long-range support, but at the moment the MOR-13s and co can do a lot of damage here. Denonic Medis at least gets 1 hit out. Southern situation. Infamous has a CV in here now, but it's not looking like this is a secure space whatsoever.
No, definitely not. And Phoenix is starting to push up now. I'd like to see him get more aggressive here. Should have realized how much points were invested at the top, and the MiG-29's coming in as well. He can definitely be a bit more aggressive down on this side. But
MiG-25 HE coming in, but there is an F-16. If the F-16 comes around in time, it might be a bit late here. That would have come out a slight bit earlier. Oh, Chaparral gets a hit. Does the F-16 finish the job? No, it does miss, but it's still catching up. Can it catch up close enough? It gets a missile oust. AM9 gets the kill. MiG-25 bites the dust. Great kill here for Infamous as the MiG-25 goes down in the rear. And this great kill for Phoenix. And this is a tough start for Infamous here with the 35th, which needs good pressure in the early game. And that pressure is fading. That pressure is fading quickly.
Up now as well to deal with the infantry.
Yeah, the Cobra coming around nicely. No AA around to deal with that. T64 coming up, but there's next to nothing in front of it anymore. Engineers pushing back the Dejant Saperis and the Snuts here as well. Igla at least getting a hit on the Cobra. Does the Cobra go down to the Igla? That would be somewhat painful here for Phoenix. Yeah, the Igla gets the kill. Clutch victory there for Infamous. Infamous needs every single small victory he can get now, as this is not the start you wish for when you play 35th.
No, definitely not. It's rough for Infamous, and Phoenix definitely needs to realize that and try and capitalize on it. Because obviously,
I mean,
35th, outside of the start, all its units are going to be having that forward deployed tax on it, at least for the infantry and a few others. And so the cost efficiency is going to go down the longer the game goes on.
Yes. And, I mean, does Phoenix even need to do anything outside of defending? Like, he has the point advantage, and he now just can build up more and more combined arms, can't he? Like, does he need to push? I mean, he could push.
I think he should apply some pressure to the south. And the main reason for that is if he doesn't apply pressure to the south, he allows Infamous to get himself set up in the north again and go for the push in. His point lead isn't that high, only about 200 points. And so the CV doesn't need to be in the top zone for too long in order to create pressure and get the points back up to where they need to be for Infamous. So the more pressure that Phoenix can put on the south, the worse position that Infamous is going to be in as well.
Yeah, scouts get the bailout against the UATs in the center. AKF now coming around to finish the job. And I wonder when we will see the first artillery piece out of Phoenix, as the front line really starts to stabilize way quicker than Infamous would have hoped for. Basnat still get murdered in the north, can't get out of there before the supply truck arrives, so... in the Spetsnaz.
Some Spetsnaz Gru going around the top for Infamous in the Mi-8 rocket. Not sure if he's going to drop them off on that side or try and get some backline action going on.
I don't know, but he needs some victories now. Like, all the last 5 minutes were all about Phoenix getting the better end of nearly every single trade here. So... only the loss of the Cobras is a bit painful, but T64B has now one Dejant Redka in front of it, and that's kinda it. But Phoenix has Kanoniak Panzers, has MR13s, has a good variety of infantry running around as well. Engineer Dragons maybe need to be a bit careful, not die too quickly.
Abrams coming up as well to challenge that T64B.
Yes. So... this is not looking hot for Infamous whatsoever, and
that smoke that Infamous is putting in might really help Phoenix out in pushing with the Cannon Jagdpanzers into range against the T64B.
This might be the... this could end up of a reverse of game number 1, with just Phoenix getting out of control here with the combined arms due to the big early bad trades of Infamous and just roll them over. Infamous needs some really good trades really quickly, otherwise this game might be over.
I think if he loses the T64 here, it's...
oh no, yeah, that T64 is done for. If the third one dies as well, oh, Mortar goes down. Okay, gets the MiG-29 in, but the MiG-29 goes down as well, and this is so brutal. 810, last second, gets on target, and you should consider tapping out at this point. Like, this is it. You have nothing, no leverage on this game whatsoever.
Another MiG-29 coming out, going up against the F-16.
Oh no. Oh no, it's going from bad to worse. Going into another head on the F-16 with the clutch missile hits, but the MiG-29 does miss. Unfortunate there, but also a bit of a risky play. And yeah, it's adding insult to injury there. And this is the moment, I think, where you just should consider, okay, let's go, let's make it the next one. And I mean, if he can make a comeback happen here, that would be insane, but I just don't see how.
Don't see it happening. Phoenix is so well set up on the bottom side too. He's just not pushing. He could roll through the bottom zone as well. The trades on the top side, it's
I
It's gonna be a
guess
tough.
Infamous will try one more sneaky behind the line stuff. If that works out, maybe that's the way back. I mean, that's how Karma did it. Though Karma was in a way better position against Infamous than against Leifens than Infamous is against Phoenix right now. But the behind the
True.
line looks that killed 2 CVs was the way back in there. Though there is an OH scout already coming up towards the Spesnat's GRU. And with that being around, this won't be easy.
Well, it's gonna go right over their position.
Yes. So Phoenix should spot it. Question is, does he actually look back into his real line? Does he look onto the minimap? Onto the point where this is happening?
It started to engage the MI8, so I think he will notice that at some point. I think
I've never seen a scout helicopter shooting on another helicopter. But
it's great. It's got hardly any ammo on that minigun. 200 rounds. It's not going to do too much.
Scouts
Might
going
not.
down, couple more BMD2s coming up, Kanon Jagdpanzer.
We're going over that way.
Kanon Jagdpanzer having to disengage. And yeah, M60 is coming up. OH Scout has found the Mi-8 helicopter. F-16 will get that done for.
I think at this point, Infamous is slowed down a bit. He's trying to set himself up a bit more, get a few more forces together to get that combined arms, and then push into the zone. I think at this point, Phoenix should start to realize that now things have slowed down. Infamous is going to be building up, and he can apply the pressure elsewhere. Keep that pressure on Infamous and keep him on the back foot.
Yes, but yeah, Phoenix is now bringing in the artillery. And that MR10 will put a timer real quick if used correctly. It can demolish the town in the south, or it can destroy the setups in the north, like taking out AA, allowing bombers to come in. We have to remember that Infamous already runs out of MiG-29s here, so A-10s, if there's not enough AA, can be so devastating at this stage. If there's any more in that deck of Phoenixes.
So
Cobras and so on as well.
The 2AT ones go down so far. See, let's get a cluster one. That might be A10s that Phoenix has, but they've done enough damage already. Won him the early game, and that's all he needed.
There's just so many blue forces on the battlefield. Bradley trying to get for the T-64B. The Bradley does smoke off. And thanks for the follow, Vladimir, Chief D711, and Hope 0324. Thank you to all of you for joining the SD League. And also hello there, Mr. Vulcan HD Gaming. Nice to have some royalty in the chat. The Dragon is trying to hold out against the Dejanor Dretka. Dejaniki Medis and Dejaniki BMD pushing forward. Mag Rifles trying to hold the ground. And I mean, there's just, yeah, the Bradley pushing pressure onto the BMD now. That BMD might be toast. Oh, gets away last second, but how do you break this? If, yeah, the MR10s now start firing, and if that gets a couple of nice shots out over the next couple of minutes, this is just going to become such a pain for Infamous. I really think his tap out would have been a fine option. He decided against it, so he tries to slog it out now.
I think the main reason he hasn't tapped out is no push on the bottom side. He's having time to be able to set up at the moment. I think what he's doing is okay. Like, he needs to take his time. He needs to get all his little tools together.
And he needs to hope for Phoenix to mess up. Like, this is 100% Phoenix's game to lose now. The MR10s in the rear are pretty scary. Not shooting on the right target though. I'm not sure what the targeting is. I'm not sure what he saw there. Conqueror's not there anymore. So that MR10.
Yeah, the Conqueror's pushed forward, so it's going to avoid those artillery rounds.
Yeah, I feel like the MR10 should focus fire onto the south instead of the, like, and try to take out buildings there, try to kill off stuff and allow for a push there instead of shooting where the enemy is moving naturally anyway. Like in the south, the enemy is not moving naturally. They only start to move there if
That makes
forced
the most sense. And actually, you could force Infamous to reinforce in the bottom zone without even pushing it with the artillery.
Yes.
If his stuff starts getting taken out, he's going to have to spend points to reinforce. And the more points he spends down there, it's the less he's going to spend trying to push the top zone.
Yeah, more attempts, not finding the kill onto the Conquerors. It's actually Infamous, yeah, getting a sizable amount of forces onto the battlefield again, which is surprising that Phoenix let that happen. Didn't put any heavier pressure on, but I guess is pretty comfortable with going into the late game with his division anyway. Didn't want to risk anything and throwing away the advantage hastily, as the late game still should be in favor of Phoenix, though 35th at least has a somewhat decent late game compared to other airborne division, like 11th Para and 82nd.
The T64s can really come out in numbers, actually, for 35th, which is a big strength. But Phoenix is bringing some mortars in on the bottom side now, which presumably is signaling a push. I don't think he'd invest the points if he wasn't going to be pushing down there.
And there's a lot of M60s and Kanonjagdpanzers coming around. I'm not too sure about the Kanonjagdpanzer. I'm not sure of how many targets there are around for it that are super worthwhile shooting at. And with all the Conquerors and Medis, they also die a lot to one-shots. Though
that's true, yeah. You get a 1 HE gun, or 1.08 HE gun, which can be nice. Decent rate of fire, and it can pick off BMD2s. And they are obviously very cost effective. Sometimes it's nice just to litter the whole area with guns which can put some fire down. And if you do pair them with M60s or the M1s, you can try and push for tank engagements where the enemy tanks are going to prioritize the heavier tank. And so the Kanonjagdpanzers can actually start to stack up some damage or push closer and put pressure on those engagements and swing them in your favor.
But we just saw another one of them dying to a Conquerors. Though BMD2 goes down. iHawk trying to get the SPGs and BMDs. Yeah, those are on a bit of a hard unit to use in the open terrain up there as well. BMD2s would be doing better in the south, as we have good engagements going on there now as well. HGMs taking out some supply trucks, SPG Nice trying to get some shots on target, but it's still no massive action. The 3 mortars are there, but there's no follow-up just yet. Wonder when we will get that, as we just got a second howitzer, so this could already start doing a lot of damage to something. Whilst we're continuously going on here.
Phoenix starting to ping the AT gun and T64B in the center there. Obviously targets of opportunity for that artillery, and he is going after the T64.
Yeah, that T64 is a great target. Nonna trying to do some counter battery. Nonna now at least a bit better with the higher rate of fire on the 120mm. 6 rounds a minute is setting up a nice smoke, so they Infamous will try to get some pressure onto the northern zone again. But
direct hit on the T64B in the center from the artillery there.
Ooh, it's down to 1 hit point. Is there one more shot coming in? And that is it for the T64. T64 bites the dust down here. So great kill for Phoenix, taking out a big tank down here. Has another pin towards the south. That's, I guess, the next target for the M110. Okay, it's trying to hit the Mi-8 helicopter in the rear, but it's a bit off target there, it seems. So interesting attacks here from Phoenix. As the south, though, still not quite under siege. Point advantage still in favor of Phoenix. Infamous bringing up a nice setup in the north, though. Mi-24V rockets, another Mi-8, a couple of ZSU. A lot of pressure to be set up. Mi-64BB trying to hit the engineer, but is suffering there.
MI8 supply taken out by the artillery.
Yeah, Mi-8 will get away though. Next, the other one is
Still hovering low.
trying to get the T-64. Might get the Desert Redka instead though. So yeah, the Mi-8s, the M10s, M110s so far, doing decent damage. Mi-8 supply will. Oh no, it killed the supply. And the other one is the recon one. I
Yes,
thought
that's right.
it was the same one. Yeah, you're right. It took out one. F-16 Eagle, flying Falcons in the sky as well. MiG-29 gets baited out. I hope that doesn't suicide. Oh no, this is a
Doesn't need.
Lathans move, isn't it? It's the
No, no,
Lathans.
he's pulling
Oh
it.
no, it's the Lathans.
No, 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 he's.
Ooh, okay, it gets called back last second.
That's a risky move.
1 versus 2, you don't want to go in with MiG-29s, even in the normal air fight, and not want to fly over enemy territory for sure. But the M110s now try to destroy more units in the south. A lot of artillery fire coming in here.
Mortars still not doing anything at the moment. And that's 270 points for those mortars. It's a big investment, and there's a lot of infantry coming in for Phoenix on the bottom now.
Yeah, he starts to artillery this town now as well. The first SPG goes down, and there's still very little here for Infamous. Is still setting up that one big push in the north. That
That's
is kind of the Hail Mary. If that works, that might bring him back into the game. If it doesn't, it's GG. Like, Infamous has zero room for error at this stage. Everything kind of needs to work out. Has an Akula now in the south. 18 minutes remaining. So time starts to become an issue eventually here as well. And he still needs to get points on the scoreboard, which won't be easy.
And he has invested a ton of infantry coming to this bottom side now as well, having to reinforce that. That he senses Phoenix is probably going to try and push it.
Oh, another supply helicopter falls to an M110 shot in the north. That one getting busted. No, it's not even just a supply helicopter, it's a Mi-24 that was landed. Oh, that's even more painful. Mi-24 getting hit there. Yeah, Kanonjagdpanzer trying its best in the north. Thessaloniki Medis not hitting. Kanonjagdpanzer can continue to deal a bit more damage here. Whilst... yeah, that's a big loss for Infamous. Losing another big unit there with the attack helicopter. And the amount of defensive units by now also getting higher and higher in the north for Phoenix. Good amount of engineers, good amount of engineered dragons, M60s. I mean, there's still...
F-16 clusters coming in now.
Still quite a bit left. And yeah, the C-64Bs, if you can take them out like that, that's absolutely perfect. Gets the kill here. F-16 goes down, but gets even more damage in as it hits the Mi-24V rocket with a Sidewinder as well. That takes 4 damage from this, so it needs to be repaired as well. At least a couple more reinforcements for the south now. And the artillery here continues, but Phoenix should consider pushing in there, as he still gives Infamous more time to at least set somewhat of a defense up there. Otherwise, Phoenix could easily get a bit of a tick there at least. Another +3, making it even harder for Infamous to come back like that. But we are on a good way. More artillery
Phoenix
coming in.
Stacking up more and more tanks on this north side.
Yeah.
There's so many there already. It's starting to become unbreakable for Infamous to try and move in there.
H58. Keeping an eye now. So, yeah. Phoenix doesn't want to get sneak rushed like earlier. Second time. In the south, there's an OH scout as well. So, no helicopters coming behind enemy lines, doing any stupid stuff. And the M110's continuously dealing damage now. Continuously firing from the rear. 15 minutes remaining. And Phoenix looks closer to being the one pushing than Infamous at this point. So, yeah, this really smells like a 2-0, 2-1 lead now.
I
Yes.
definitely agree. There's not much Infamous can do. After the start being a bit disastrous for him, losing so many units there, if he had played very well after that and not lost more tanks and more units, there was a chance for him to kind of set up and get back into it, but at this point it's so tough.
Yes, and the M110s really put the tax on. Like, they're not absolutely devastating, but they keep the advantage in Phoenix's hand because they continuously take value away from you. So you have to trade extra good with the rest, and that's just not happening right now. The amount of infantry in the northern zone, don't know what you would need to clean that up, but it's for sure nothing that Infamous has access to right now.
MiG-27 coming in, trying to bat at the front of the town. Should get some good kills here. Those are 500 kilogram bombs.
Gets the buildings destroyed, does a good amount of damage to the units inside of them, but also gets shut down. So point-wise, not super efficient. Is there a CV in the north for Infamous even? No, no CV just yet.
No, hasn't brought one in yet.
So he has to get the bridgehead and then also has to have the points to invest into a CV. F-16's just flying straight through here. MiG-29 coming around for the kill, but not getting it. And the AM-9 Sidewinder once more winning the air duel here. Another MiG-29 going down without any F-16 biting the dust, and that is just so painful. Like,
one of them might get taken out by the ZUs.
Oh yeah.
No, gets out before.
Gets warp speed on just before that happens. But yeah, Infamous now also without any chances in the air, and S-35, you kind of need that. So these losses are just a bit too high. I mean, the effort of Infamous is nice, and I guess that's maybe the attempt he tries to go for, like just saying, telling to himself, which also is a fine strategy of going onto things. There's a kind of different approaches to games like this. Like, there's also the player type who never gives up, even in tournament matches like that. Who also, maybe if you think you have more stamina than your opponent, and I guess that's something that Infamous maybe has compared to Phoenix. You just say like, oh yeah, I'm still gonna take all the resources away from you, or like as many stamina resources away from you with this game as possible by just making it long. Like,
it's a good point, and actually if you kind of accepted like, okay, the opening's gone badly, I've not done well here, I'm probably gonna lose, but the points are close enough. If I get the win here, mentally for Phoenix, that's going to be really bad. Being in such a good position early on and then losing that. Whereas if you kind of settle with yourself that, okay, I'm probably going to lose, but there's a chance. It's the payoff for you is actually probably bigger if, like you said, you've got the stamina to keep the game going.
yeah, there is now a CV coming in the north for Infamous. Infamous also has a small bridgehead there in the zone of Phoenix, but the M60s are pushing forward. They are destroying quite a couple of units. T-64BV still injured. Mi-24V rockets and Akula rockets, the only thing that are keeping Infamous up here in the north right now. Otherwise, these tanks would just push over all of them. But Dejans are pushing forwards as well. BRDM, 2U moving up. But I mean, Phoenix just would have to push in the south at the same time to equalize this. So this doesn't seem to be the way to victory, especially as now the anti-tank is running low as well, so the M60s just roll over Spetsnaz. Spetsnaz at least gets saved
out
last second. Akula in danger as well, as AA uses the smoke stuff as well. M60 in the north, heavily damaged. Dejan Vedredka getting the kill there. So a couple of nice kills here for Infamous, but still nothing super game changing.
Just smashing all these units up.
Yeah, the artillery really strong here. Ooh, Conquerors coming for the pivot. Okay, that doesn't quite get in there. But 10 minutes remaining. We have more engineers for the south. Is their CV finally coming in here? No, Phoenix is
coming in on the south.
It's bringing in a lot of units in here. But is that even necessary? I don't know. It's a bit weird to me that this doesn't push for a CV, but still brings all the stuff down there in at the moment. Like, I feel like he could easily overwhelm this already, but obviously he doesn't quite know that. He doesn't have the bird's view. But a lot of smoke coming in, and that should indicate now some action under here. The action should be coming in here.
Infamous is moving some forces down towards the zone to help deal with it. But there's definitely not enough here to resist all of the forces Phoenix has.
Starter, not so great. Artillery coming in from the rear, Nonna with a lot of smoke.
And this big issue as well with Infamous's attack here. He's pushing into the same area of the zone again and again and again. And so that artillery doesn't have to fire anywhere else. It can just keep targeting that one bit of the zone. And it's going to pick up kills.
Akula goes down to the F-16, gets a CV in here now. Infamous is on a +3, but how long realistically can that survive? F-16 cluster also already trying to get the kill there. Does miss. F-16 cluster, one of those clusters that has a really small target area. Igla trying to get the kill on it. Might be able to do so. No, both miss. That's highly unfortunate. As Infamous is on the +3, but there's nothing in front of his CV anymore. So Phoenix just has to have the balls to push in there. Smoke in the south is completely out of hand, but he's still not moving there. I'm not sure what Phoenix's play is right now. It feels like Phoenix is risking a throw here right now. Like, it should still not be a loss, but I mean, giving the enemies the points always leaves the chance open for disaster, for like enemy with a random bombing run sniping your CV so that you don't get points back or something like that. So I'm not quite sure what Phoenix's plan is right now.
I think he just got caught up a bit in the micro in the north. He's starting to move on the bottom now, but that smoke's going to start to clear. I mean, fortunately for him, there's not too much behind the smoke to fire on all his units, and he can just attack me forwards and win this bottom zone here.
Yeah, so many Heimatschützen coming on, so many M60s. Few engineers, a couple of engineers coming in from behind. Cobra is in there as well. No CV in the south just yet. Rifle leader coming in now. M110 can smack this up pretty badly as well. Can smack up the north as well. BRDM down to 2 hit points. But it's Infamous now in the lead. Infamous now has the lead. Has 2 supply trucks next to the BRDM to keep it alive by resupplying. D44 will try to kill off the engineers here. Will try to help out against the M113. But there's just so little stop holding the CV alive.
And D44 gets taken out by the Abrams there.
Yeah, engineer flashes and Heimatschützen are just rolling through the south. Yes, this is Descent sub-parries, but there's just 8 infantry units moving forward right now that just have the DPS to murder even infantry in buildings relatively quickly. Mi-8 MK.
I don't think Infamous's forces even have the ammo to kill all of those units, so...
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have enough TNT on your desert. I mean, there's enough party bus UATs around to maybe give it to them, but there should also be engineers on the other side. Phoenix not moving them until now. They're now finally moving forward, but it's Kanoniak Panzers and the M60s in the rear. There's still enough moving in here. Besnat's OP will fall. CV is still closing in. 5 minutes?
CV on the north side has been taken out by the artillery, I believe.
6 minutes remaining, 100 point advantage for Infamous. And I would bring in, 2 CVs coming in here for Phoenix in the south. That's the right move. You don't want to risk it of bringing only one in, then losing it, and then having to buy another one for the last 5 minutes. That takes another 2 minutes to arrive on the front line. You want to have a backup here to make sure that a single bombing run or similar things can't shred your dreams of getting this pushback. Like, Infamous is getting closer than it should have been, but Phoenix still
Definitely.
should be able to finish this off now. Mech
And you
rifle
see,
leaders.
this push is forced Infamous to spend loads of points on this bottom side, and that bomber going down before it can even drop its load.
Yeah, great kill with the F-16s there. CV now coming in for the south. 5 minute 20, that's still more than enough time. And there's nothing here for Infamous in the south remaining. M60 versus SPG coming around. Aero rifle joining in here as well.
Ooh. It's the side shot, but SPG does go down.
And so yeah, the CV of Infamous in the south got eliminated. So it's a +3 already now. There's no CV coming up. And with that alone, Phoenix would already go up. Will make it a +6 now though. And with the +6 in hand, this is going to be over really, like, in no time. Phoenix will go ahead again, and this time around, there's no way Infamous is countering that. Brings in a CV for the north, so at least might be able to neutralize, but
Phoenix does also have air rifles flying to the back zone, straight through the front line.
Trying to find the CV there, as there's no AA here on the side of Infamous. There's no fighters left anymore. All the MiG-29s got killed off in the air battles. Those air battles were really painful for Infamous throughout the game. And yeah, the start, the rush of the 35th, just not quite up there. Maybe a bit too cautious on the positioning on it, and then giving Phoenix time to get into the right positions and be able to crush it, as we are now more than 100 points ahead. 4 minutes to go. A single CV in the north won't change anything, even if it gets in. Even if both get in by now, Phoenix just has the point lead, and aero rifles have found the CV in the north. Will now try to land next to us. Infamous seems to be oblivious to it, so we'll lose that as well.
Yeah, but all his attention's in the south.
It's not like it's changing anything. It's just it's something that's for sure putting the nail into the coffin. As the aero rifles now get out.
We should see the surrender as soon as this CV goes down.
Yes. AT rocket launcher gets the kill. Ooh, a couple of SPGs spawn last second up north, but now they're gone. It's a +8. It's 3 minutes remaining. And Infamous is down 1-2 most likely, and will have to get 2 wins in a row to make it to the playoffs, as Phoenix is closing in onto the match ball. And that's quite hot. Like, really insane storyline for Phoenix this season. And then he was coming in as the lowest seed in his group, and now he is 1 game away from the finals. So
he's definitely done really well, and you can see how well he's playing in this matchup here.
Like, if I remember correctly, he was the lowest or the second lowest player in the whole of Division 1 at the beginning of the tournament from the seeds. So, yep, Infamous gets the CV here in the north as well, but this is not looking hot for Phoenix whatsoever. For Infamous whatsoever. Phoenix just has it all. Another CV coming in the south, but no CV for the north. 2 minutes remaining. You can't get these points anymore. There's no way you get these points anymore. But Infamous seems to be up to play it till the 40-minute mark. No surrender this time around. Just taking as much time as possible and making it an exhausting game for your opponent. F-16 getting a nice kill there as well. Mi-8 MTA flying around the north. Fighting Falcon. Nearly getting the kill there. Units driving through the south. +2 for Phoenix, and we have a second 40-minute game here. After a pretty fast game number 1, now.
Actually, 5 coming out now.
Yeah, they just never had the space, and with the MiG-29s all going down, it was.
Scenes are gonna quickly deal with that.
Pretty painful, yeah. Phoenix even going above 1,000 points now, and yeah, 1 minute remaining. But Infamous refusing to surrender here, is doing so last second now, and yeah, this was a clear victory for Phoenix. Took a bit longer than needed to be maybe, but he did it in the end. Didn't slip up at all after that good start in the early game. And Infamous just not having the division, not having the matchup to be able to really compete there. Couple of mismanagements in the air. And this time around, it's Phoenix with the clear victory. So one really clutch game number 2 that Phoenix was able to decide. One pretty decisive game 1 win for Infamous. And now a pretty decisive game number 3 for Phoenix. And that means Phoenix is on match point. So this is hot action.
Definitely. Phoenix is going to be feeling good right now. And it'll be interesting to see what the next map is and whether Infamous can kind of get himself settled mentally and approach this next game kind of reset and good to go, hoping to recreate game 1.
Yeah. But to remind everyone, we had the same situation yesterday. We had game number 1, Karma pretty clearly winning. And then a clutch victory in game number 2 for Mr. Lathans. And then a game number 3 win as well. And then Karma still came around for the 3-2 victory. It was a really close game number 4, where Lathans was on the brink of finishing it off. And then a pretty brutal game number 5. So Infamous for sure not done for. Karma did it yesterday. Let's see if Infamous can do it today. But Phoenix in top spot for making it to the finals, for securing himself at least $125 off prize pool. So if he gets there, but still one victory away, and Infamous will do everything he can to stop that from happening. Yes. Yeah, you can support them via Matcherino, guys. If you, thanks to all the people who used up the claim code already, but you still can visit the websites here, for example, to add 20 cents per website from PowerA, Lucid, Sounds. Every website visit adds another 20 cents. And same goes with the email submission to BetterHelp or the survey here over at Matcherino. That's a good amount of money to the prize pool as well, without you having to do anything, having to buy anything or investing any of your own money directly into this. So if everyone does that, that's easily a couple more bucks to the prize pool, like a couple $10. If everyone in the chat does that, that's $80 added to the prize pool. So that would be quite big. Yes, it's not much for an individual, but we are quite a lot of people, so it adds up quite quickly.